Vodafone Idea is sitting on a very large debt. It needs money. The DOT or the government had given them a chance to convert the interest on their AGR dues into government equity. But now that conversion of the interest on AGR dues has been pending for nearly a year. The government had given its go-ahead in January of last year. So 1 year now, but there has been no word from the government on converting it.
Whether we will shut down in the next 45 days or not is the main concern on everyone's mind right now. Before we answer that question, let's look back and see what ultimately led this telecom giant to its demise. AGR dues, a ghost that has been terrorizing the telecom sector for more than 20 years now. The Department of Telecommunications charges a usage and licensing fee to telecom operators known as adjusted gross revenue dues. At first, all income, including that from non-telecom sources like deposit interests and asset sales, was subject to this fees. This formed the basis for a 14-year-old long battle between the telecoms and the DOT, which ended in 2020, wherein the fee will be charged just on spectrum usage charges and licensing fees, only with rates ranging between 3 to 5% and 8% respectively. Despite winning the case, they ultimately came out on the losing end. With this new ruling, these telcos now had to pay the pending dues of the last 14 years, plus interest. By the time this ruling was out, only 3 telcos survived the storm. From these 3, Jio was a newcomer, which was excluded from the charge, but the remaining 2 had to start planning for their future. Bharti Airtel made advanced preparations and provisions, but we did not. This caused them their entire business, with their share price plummeting to ₹2. In 2021, following Kumar Mangalam Birla's resignation as chairman of Vodafone Idea, the government unveiled a relief package to help the telecom industry, which had become severely crippled. The telecom service providers were given a 4-year moratorium on paying spectrum dues, but after that period had passed, their total liability will increase by an additional interest charge of these 4 years too. The telcos also had an option of converting their liability into equity and selling that stake to the government. Bharti Airtel chose the moratorium, whereas Vodafone Idea moved forward by giving the government a 33% stake. Will Vodafone Idea shut down by the end of February? Vodafone Idea continues to lose subscribers and 1/5 of its sales force has left the company. Approximately 986 job openings are currently posted by the company on LinkedIn. Additionally, there are numerous financial influencers who claim that we will likely cease operations by February 23 all over the internet. Such commotion undoubtedly makes one wonder if the business will be able to survive or not. Here is our list of reasons why we actually think the opposite. Duopoly. The Indian telecom industry has experienced phenomenal growth, with its tele-density rising from 1% 30 years ago to 125% today, as majority of people own multiple SIM cards. Despite this development, the government's interference and unfavorable business practices have repeatedly brought the telecom industry closer to a duopoly. However, the government has always responded quickly to prevent the possibility from occurring. The government-initiated BSNL revival plan is one of the key examples to back this up. However, given their respective market shares, reviving BSNL alone won't be able to stop the duopolistic situation in the market. Vodafone Idea, with a 22% market share, is the only company that has a chance of doing this successfully. The banking sector collapse. Continuing on the previous point that Vodafone Idea is the most ideal candidate for the government to prevent a duopoly, the only way to accomplish this is fundraising. Currently, Vodafone Idea's gross debt obligation is around 1.8 lakh crores, funded by 8 major banks, SBI, IDFC First Bank, Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank topping the list. The larger banks like HDFC, Axis and ICICI have already made provisions in case of default, and their exposure to the telecom operator is also at a very low level. However, the other small and mid-sized lenders will surely experience a significant hole in their balance sheets if the heavily indebted giant collapses. Technical charts. The volumes highlighted on the weekly charts right from the end of 2019 are at historical levels, indicating large amounts of accumulation in the stock. And as per latest quarterly results, mutual funds and FIIs have been increasing their holding in the company. So all in all, if we take a bird's eye view and observe the entire scenario, for us only one thought comes to mind. Be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. On that note, if you liked our video, do click that subscribe button to stay tuned with our upcoming content.